Hello, fellow Factorians. Welcome back to my Pyanodons challenge run. During the last episode, I set up simple circuits, which was quite an endeavor. The episode ran on pretty long, and I think I got a lot done, but I'm looking forward to a less stressful episode this time. My plan was to set up copper processing, and hopefully with fluid handling also finished in the research time period, I would be able to use a bunch of controllable valves and tanks everywhere to smooth out my fluid system. Unfortunately, before I managed to get those researched, my research broke and I failed the challenge again. And guess why? Well, I guess I will hand you off to current me to show why, but dun dun dun, it's not really much of a cliffhanger here, it's because of the fluid system. So, on to the episode. Well, it looks like, yet again, I have a failure, and my system is broken. And it's broken because I have not enough creosote. Despite the fact that I added more creosote production here, I shipped almost all of it off to make treated wood, and because of that, I broke the cycle of avoiding light oil to gasoline, and then using that to void and creosote to turn into aromatics. So what I'm going to do about it is, well, I'm going to go fix it first, and then we'll get on to actually playing the episode. Science hasn't quite failed yet, but it will, and therefore I'm going to go into hands-on mode. Reset my timer, and go add a little bit more creosote production. So I'll be right back after I've done gotten that going. Alright, that should get it going. I've added some anthracene usage to produce creosote, and while I'm here I better remember to do this memento mori, so let's copy that. Failure at roughly 40 hours. Not going to check the clock exactly, but this one is to do to insufficient creosote production, lack of controllable valves. Now you get to see how slowly I type. All right. So yeah, if I'd had a controllable valve to put onto to prevent the creosote from going off to do chips, I wouldn't have run into that issue. So hopefully this will start voiding out. Let's block that for a second. There we go. And now I'm going to go to do the real thing that I wanted to do. Well, the real thing I want to do is I want to go and do copper processing. Copper processing stage 1, I think that's the one that I'm at, takes, instead of 8 copper ore to 1 copper plate, it goes to 5 copper ore to 1 copper plate, but also some stone. So basically it's the equivalent of the iron processing stage 1. However, before I start this, I want to turn off fuel to the system to get the system to void out its copper as much as possible, so I don't have to deal with a kind of like a nightmare of copper sitting in the furnaces, because they have 100 copper each inside of them, and that's going to be no fun to have sitting around in my inventory while I try and delete this build. I thought I was being smart by leaving a little bit of space between the miners and the furnaces and being like, oh, I'll just stick my copper processing stage 1 in there. I should have done the build first and seen just how massive it would be, and also that I would want to use furnaces to do the build in the first place. So that said, I'm going to go down here and find a good place to also buffer the copper that's inside of the lines, and then do something else for a bit while that drains itself out. Worst comes to worst, I have also the small parts buffered, so this is going to block science production, which will hopefully kick off again shortly now. But yeah, it'll just help out so that I don't have that massive amount of copper sitting around in my inventory, and they can sit in some boxes instead. Yep, pitch is going again, which is great. So I'm going to work on a little bit more aromatics productions, rather zinc production, so that I consume the aromatics that I have. So yeah, I'm going to build this out right here and then figure out a way to finagle pushing this into those furnaces over there. So I'm going to do this, and I'll be back after I've set this up. You've seen this plenty of times. Okay, so that's additional aromatics production. Sorry, zinc production. I think of it as aromatics production because it's aromatics consumption, and that's what I really want to do. But yeah, it's zinc production, which will get buffered and then eventually used later on to make even more simple circuits. You going to make enough? I think this is less than, yeah, it's less than half a line. Okay. So next on the agenda is to go up and do that copper processing build. So I need to collect some resources to do that. It's going to be an expensive use of my first set of simple circuits. Hopefully I have enough because, you know, as you saw, I didn't quite get as much time in making them as I expected. So I'll be right back after I've done that. Okay, I had just enough simple circuits. Let me go shut off this blinking science alert. I think I can safely say that I'm handling 100. My system isn't really designed for that, but with the extra coke that I'm making to produce simple circuits, I should be running tar heavy for a while. Okay, so this hasn't quite cleared itself out yet, but it's getting there. And I'm going to start deleting it. The size of the build that I want to make is pretty huge, and I'm going to probably put it down here. Maybe I could. I want to put it down here at least below the copper, all the copper patch. So yeah, it covers pretty much everything, and I've got to work on deleting what's down here. So yeah, I'll be back after I've done that. And yeah, I think I'll just go ahead and do this whole build. And then explain it after I've finished putting it together. So this will be a longer musical interlude for the rest of you. Okay, and this build is set to go. So it consists of 9 automated screeners per side that consume a full belt of copper ore. Feed it to half that many jaw crushers, which is why I've got 9 in the middle here. These last 2 kind of like feed to this last one. And then all this, because this ratio is exact, I can direct insert into the jaw crushers. And then all of them can insert directly into furnaces. These guys take copper ore and turn it into copper grade 2 and copper grade 1. Copper grade 1 has to be processed by the jaw crushers into stone and copper grade 2, and the copper grade 2 can be directly smelted. So that's that closed little loop. It's not for a Pyanodons system. It's pretty nice. I would say that I kind of enjoy this one again because it allows for some pretty nice direct insertion. Let me now I need to take all this massive amount of copper ore that I've harvested and stick it back into the machines. Fortunately, they take 250 each, which is really nice for getting rid of this stuff. Let's see, still got quite a bit more. Yeah, unfortunately, I collected so much of it while undoing those furnaces. But yeah, I think it works pretty well. I'm probably going to put a second stack here someday to do even more when I need the copper, but I definitely do not at the moment. This is going to be more than enough to satisfy my current copper demands for quite a while, even when I make Duralin pretty soon. So next I'm going to clean up what I've done over here. I've left quite a mess. I also need to remember to put in solid separation. The furnaces are really efficient at making copper too for some reason. So the solid separation is so the amount of fuel necessary is really low, so it produces not very much ash, and it produces lots of stone, which is just fantastic at this point in the game. I'll just stick another solid separator in here with my standard "You shall not pass" filter, which very soon will be replaced by splitters, but for now I'm still enjoying using it. And yeah, let me clean up and go on to doing something else. Be back soon. So the next thing I planned on doing was hooking up the stone that is coming in from copper, but it seems like my pitch is broken again, so let's go deal with that. I imagine it maybe is still not enough creosote production. Let's find out. Too much creosote? Okay, that's not the greatest. Okay, yes. How to deal with this? What I need to do is steal a configurable valve from somewhere. Where to steal it from? This is carbolic. Let's pretend carbolic will never overflow again, and set it up so that this becomes a top-up. Okay, yes, I can't wait for having more configurable valves so I can make these systems much less jank. Back to sorting out what to do with all my stone and also this massive buffer of copper that I have now hoarded up here. Yeah, there's quite a lot of copper here sitting in these chests, and it's going to drive me nuts. So I'll figure out something to do with this. Yeah, I'll figure out something. Be back soon. Hopefully the last, or soon-to-be last, of these janky inserter-based mergers. But yeah, this is how I need to give the copper, stone from copper priority, even over the pitch, I believe. But yeah, all of it needs to get used up. So if this fills up, the real trick is to let the stone run into these, which are less efficient production of stone, and then consume that before it hits here. So this does get forced in. That's good. Takes priority over the infinite pitch-based stone production. All right. So hopefully science will catch back up soon. Pitch is flowing again. I'm going to set up my bootstrap base with the improved copper recipe. See how we're doing on time. A reasonable amount of time to do that, but not loving that science was broken again, so close to the cutoff period. I'm just going to do a shortened version of that build, and also probably do something with like to improve that mining setup. So yeah, I'll be back. It'll be mostly a copy of what I've got up top, although miniaturized. Okay, so this should be copper for the starter base setup, and now all I need to do is do something with this stone. I think I'm going to put it into the science base. I would like to get rid of some of the buildup of stone that I'm getting into the non-science, the bootstrap base. Now, shouldn't be a lot of stone, so hopefully I won't have too much trouble integrating it, although there will get to be a point where stone is there'll be too much stone for my system to handle and not enough. That's kind of a common theme in Pi, where for a while you're like, oh, I have so much ash, I constantly have to deal with this ash, and then you'll be like, oh, suddenly I do not have enough ash, what is going on? So now I need to just find a place to push this stone into the system, and I think I'll do it here into the with lower priority, of course. But put it into the stone that is used for coming from the power processing. Hopefully, it will work out okay. Here. Yet another of the janky inserter-based mergers. That'll work. Now I need to check my power system and see if it's going okay. A little concerned about that since my science has not picked up. I think what I need to do is move this so that it is all of this is overflow creosote. Or top-up creosote. Take that away. And then the creosote that is coming in from the base should come in from the other side where it kind of gets priority to be voided. Kind of want to watch this system for a minute and make sure that it works out. This pop-up, these should start, like backing up, and the creosote that is in these should start getting emptied out. But it's going to take a minute for that to happen. I need to void some light oil again. Yeah. Got a problem here because that was supposed to be light oil and not creosote. Hopefully this is not still connected. How do I guess I'm just going to void like this. I don't love that you have to flush sometimes, but it's not prevented, but it's really hard to find a place to go through. I think, yeah, that was the problem. This got connected. It shouldn't have been. Okay. This creosote hopefully starts going lower. Oh, this creosote connected. Yeah, it should just be with the pop-up valve. I'm going to go remove that buffer of copper that I had up north and then make sure that that got cleared out. Then I'll come back to it in a moment. So yeah, see you shortly. All right. Good news, creosote is going down in the main line, and these are backing up, as they should. So they're ready to top up creosote, so creosote can void here properly. So I think this is fixed now. Definitely going to take a little bit of time for all this the pitch that is coming through to make a difference, but tar is at 0, which is kind of the thing you want. Like, you want all the tar to be consumed. I'm going to call this now. Let's go into hands-off mode, because this was already running over. Reset the science alert. And I think that'll be an episode. During this episode, I set up a lot of copper processing. Hopefully all of this works up here. It seemed like it was. The buffer was, the copper from the north was filled. I set up copper production here, which is going. I can just see it barely at the edge of that radar range. So this will produce more copper than I had prior, and do so more efficiently since this copper patch was starting to run low. I may need to expand this build later when I create some duralumin in the base, but that should be easy. Just, like, I can copy this and double it up pretty quickly. And yeah, pitch is being made. Science should catch up. Thank you for watching the episode. Leave me some comments to let me know how things are going for you, and I will see you next time.